We're in here, man.
I'm good.
Killer
Yeah.
Cam.
Hi.
Killer Cam. Are you? Is this just my headphones, or are you muffled? Are you using the right? Are you using the right microphone,
I
or is it
can.
just my weird
Let me
headphones?
see.
Okay, yeah, you say okay, yeah, it sounds pretty
Um.
crisp.
Okay.
All right,
I can try and get the mic closer to my face.
but yeah, Cam, how's it? How is life? How is college? I, what are you going to do once you graduate college?
I don't know. I need to make those meetings. I have. I've started keeping like a to-do list again, and every day on the to-do list is like make meetings with a career counselor, make meetings with career counselors, and I just haven't done it. I don't know. I don't know. I I've been taking in the last couple semesters finally taking some poli sci. I had this thing where I was like I don't want to major in something that I'm passionate about because then I'll burn out, which was so dumb because
You
like
should be passionate.
anyone in their right mind would see me and go, "You should major in poli sci." But I was like, I don't want to major in poli sci because I don't want to deal with poli sci majors, and it was just like so. And maybe there was some validity to that because my roommate's a poli sci major and she's always complaining about it. But I've been in poli sci classes recently, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so nice. This is just like the stuff that I'm just thinking about and doing like on a regular basis, and now I get to get class credit for it. Like I'm literally in a class that's just about the 2024 election, and I'm like, bro, this is just all I'm doing anyway, and I'm gonna get 3 credit hours for this. So I'm like, where was any of that coming from? Oh, that I'm gonna graduate with a degree in linguistics,
In
and the path
linguistics,
for
bro.
linguistics majors is you go to grad school and then you either like become a speech pathologist or a linguistics professor. And I'm just like, man, I
That's a wild career path. That like the destined career path is to become a teacher in that career path.
yeah, just keep
Like
teaching the same. Or like I don't know, you can go study some lesser known language in some country, but I don't know how to get into that, nor do I.
I mean,
I'm sure you have to like be I don't know.
that's kind of
Hmm?
like the wild occurrence of like having having saying like, "Hey, 18-year-old, you decide right now what you're going to do
Yeah.
for the rest of your life." And you have to, and I want you to get in debt for like $35,000 or more over this,
Hmm.
over this decision that you're making right now. Are you
Yeah.
accruing student loans? Or are you one of those nerds and dorks that that got a scholarship?
I got a scholarship. I'll have you know.
Look at you,
Um,
scholarship.
I got to. Where was I going with that? Oh, just that this guy was like, I don't know how this happened. It must have been that like I don't know. The path of this story actually makes no sense, so I'm not even going to tell it. But you had you had something. We were like, what are we going to talk about? And then you pulled up Twitter, and then you were like, oh,
Oh,
so what
okay.
was that about?
I don't think this is more of a general thing about how every time I can't open Twitter safely in a public
Oh yeah.
in a
Hmm.
public location, bro. Uh, I don't even know. I'm just gonna share. I'll send this to you on Twitter. I was like, okay,
Okay.
what's on my Twitter? Because you were looking at your Twitter, and then I was like, all right, what's on my Twitter? And I guess I'll just send this to you. This is the type of stuff I'm seeing
Also,
the moment I open up Twitter.
oh man, I was all frozen in a fuckboy face. I can't do this. Okay. Um,
I hope
let's see
so.
what's on your
I hope I
Twitter.
can zoom in on that.
I think I was
That'll be
like,
my one edit I make in this video.
what is this?
This is the type of stuff I see. I'm at work. I'm like, hey, oh, whoa, oh, all right, let's get out of that.
if it if it weren't so pornographic, this seems like the kind of thing that you would send to noob. I almost just said his name. Seems like
I
the kind of
literally
thing you would
just
say
sent
to,
this to.
send to noob.
I literally just sent this to Noob. That's the thing. So it is. I sent it to Noob and then I sent it to you. So so you are correct. That could be a
Kind of
topic in
spot on there.
itself. The things I send
Just the
Noob. That
things you
could
do to
be
that man. Oh my god.
Well, the
We
things
need to
I do,
bring him
that's
in though, just
the
to
victim. Bring in the
testify,
victim.
yeah.
That's years. I've known him since I was 11, 12, 11, 12
God, that's
maybe.
crazy. That's so
So
crazy.
that's like that's all state. You know all the stages of like teenagedom like you go through.
Mhm.
So he knew me at my cruelest and at my like my chillest. So
Love that for him and for you. I
do you be hanging out with people you knew when you were like 11, 12, or did they? Oh wait, you vaguely said that like all your homies like switched up. So I don't I don't do we go into like into sadness
I
cam
can
this quickly?
I won't be sadness cam, but we can top line it, which is that I had basically some shit happened that caused me to have a falling out with my best childhood friend, and in turn like all of my childhood friends from that group. So I one of them reached out to me actually about maybe I want to say less than a year ago, but I was so like the, the way that things ended was on one hand, okay, so things ended on really bad terms, and then she texted me being like, "Hey, can you like cuz we wrote I'm trying to remember if this video is public and if this is going to reveal who it is, but whatever, it doesn't whatever. Um Basically we wrote this thing when we were in middle school that she wanted me to send to her. And
Oh,
I was like
you're
and
like
so
all
she
right.
texts me, she's like, "Do you have this like this thing that we wrote on your computer still?" And I looked and I didn't. So then I just didn't respond because I was like, I'm just not even going to dignify you with the response because you were so. And in hindsight, I kind of wish that I'd like, I don't know, killed her with kindness and acted like nothing was wrong. But I was just so like appalled that she would even text me
Yeah.
after like everything that she did and that it ended on. In lighter news, I have been in contact with two of my friends from high school recently. Um, and I was gonna bring up one of them because we've been watching this show, not like together, but at the same time. Except one episode that we watched together, which I was screen sharing, watching it on a very legal TV watching website.
Yeah, the
Um,
most legal kind.
yeah, and I go to share my screen and it like shows the window, and he goes, "You have so many Twitter tabs open," and I was like, "I know."
Are
He's
you
like,
just
"Why are you?"
you're on Twitter, bro.
I go through phases of being on Twitter. I don't really use like Instagram. I don't use TikTok at all anymore. But I'll just go on Twitter, yeah. Um and then my other friend I got to text today. I mean, I've been talking to him like anyway, but I got to pull up this old picture because we were talking in one of my poli sci classes. We were talking about like voting methods, and that friend and I for AP Gov did a big poster about like the different ways you can vote, like first past the post versus ranked choice, et cetera, et cetera. And so I managed to dig up that old picture of him and send it to him, and he just looks totally different now than he did when we were 17. And he was like, "Thank you for putting that image in my brain." But yeah, how did we get to this? Oh,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to think like what's the longest time friend that I've had.
What's the longest friend you've had?
SMH, I really thought, especially that one person from like that I've known since I was 4 or 5 was gonna be like my bestie forever. But then the,
And people
I could
change.
say a lot about that that I won't say. But
I mean, I don't. I'm not gonna
yeah.
share my. I have a lot. I will say, Noob is not my oldest friend. I have. I don't know. I guess I just
Mhm.
picked my friends. I'm not gonna come at this like. Again, this is just something I've realized is that like typically this isn't like a misogynist thing. Typically, dudes are like, these are my boys, and this is us
Oh, no,
forever.
for sure.
It
Yeah.
seems like women at like a certain age, they come to a point where they swap their friends. Like, not that they're like
Mhm.
mean about it. It just seems like there comes and male friends included. I don't know what like they come to like they come to a point where they like swap friends or like they have some big falling out. I don't know. I say this because most of my friends are women, and like
Mhm.
every they all have this story about how like they fell out with all their friends. So I'm like, this is something. What do y'all be doing? Like what what goes on?
It's funny. There's like a group of guys that I was kind of I like knew some of them in high school, but it was like this big group of guys that were all friends. And then one of them, when we went off to college, ended up transitioning. But when all those guys get together, she still hangs out with them. And I'm like, man, you snuck in there. Like you get to be a girl and have all the perks of guy friendship. It's so
He's in there.
I don't know.
She's
Yeah.
in there. I misgendered because you were
Ooh,
talking about her as a guy first.
yeah.
But I don't. Is male is. I hate when people like. I feel like friendship is friendship, and there's like when people talk about like male friendship is this, female friendship is this.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm like homies are homies. Like I treat all homies the same. I mean,
Mhm.
obviously it depends on the person. Like like me treating Noob the way I do has little to do with him being a man. More that like that's just a friendship. Like that that's the type of people we
Mhm.
are, I guess. And like I guess I wouldn't treat like a female friend that way, but no, I have female friends that I've like known that long where our relationship is just insulting each other and like I'm like
Yeah.
that's all we do. I'm like, look at you, ugly. Like that that's just that's all we do. And it's like but I don't know. It just depends on like the vibe. It's not like a gender thing. Like I treat my male friends like this and my female friends like this.
Yeah, I think people who draw like a real distinction between those are like I don't know. I can give a little side eye to those people. But at the same time I understand like there is I think a lot of value in like a solid girl friendship, like a girl I was going to say girl on girl, but that sounds weird. But like
Girl
girl
on girl
to girl
friendship.
friendship.
Yeah.
Um and those are also really maybe I'm outing myself here. But those are very hard to come by. Um and I had like I had well, no, I had a few close girlfriends in high school, and then I went off to college, and I was like, I really want like more because more of my close friends were guys, and I was like, I want to have more close girlfriends. Um, I'm all my friends are guys, less drama,
You're
but
that girl. You're not
I
like other girls.
but I didn't want to be that girl. I wanted
You're
more
not like
girlfriends,
other
so
girls.
I'm unwillingly not like other girls. But I went off to college and I was like, all right, I want more girl friendships. I want like a stronger foundation of like girls in my life. So I'm going to join a sorority. Not the move. Don't do that. I mean, maybe that works out for some people. They're now I don't part of me is like, can I talk about this? They're hounding me for money now, like a lot of money. I dropped out 2 years ago and they're saying that I never officially dropped and hounding me for like a lot of money in unpaid dues. And
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like,
you were in a sorority when I first met you. Yeah, you were. I'm pretty sure you
oh,
were
I
in a sorority.
was, cause yeah. I guess
I
the
remember
first
you were
video that we
talking
shot
about
together was at my mom's house, but then like the black white
it.
video was in my room at the sorority house. That's so true.
Yeah, you were in a. I remember
Oh,
you
and
talking
I
about it.
hated it by that point. By like a couple weeks into living in the house, I was like, I want to drop this sorority. And I was like, shit, I have to live here for the whole year. Um, and then like the
All for
second
female
I
friends.
yeah, and it just the it depends on the school, it depends on the sorority, but the sorority at the school that I went to was not the place to go for good female friendships. They're
I
very
don't know.
not
Can't you just go to like
good.
a Phoebe Bridgers concert or something? I don't know. Where the
Well, there was COVID.
oh
Everything was
yeah.
locked down. All like we didn't leave our dorms. I I basically just talked to my roommate because we weren't even allowed to go into other people's rooms, and like nothing was meeting in person. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll just rush because like what else is there to do? But yeah, now I've been like I'm going to some I don't even know what it is. My roommate's bringing me to some like Sabrina Carpenter themed party tomorrow. I don't know any. I think I know one Sabrina Carpenter song.
I see.
Oh, I know. I know Thumbs, where she says "skittle deet that dumb" or something.
I've seen Sabrina Carpenter is another name, much like Dua Lipa, where I see their names, but I can't tell you
Hmm.
a single sound that they've made. Like, or same with like if you put a picture of them in front of me, I wouldn't be able to tell you who that is. But I see them constantly, so I'm like they must be doing something.
Yeah, I know like a decent bit about Sabrina Carpenter because if you know anything about Olivia Rodrigo, you have to know about Sabrina Carpenter. And also, this is all very probably very Gen Z girl coded, but she was on Girl Meets World, which I didn't watch, but I know she was on. And
This is me being an older Gen Z. I watched all of Boy Meets
Boy
World
Meets World.
when I
Yeah.
was a. That's what I watched as a boy. But that was more had to do with me not having cable and that being on like the 8 channels that I had. So I was watching a lot of
Oh.
90s. I was watching a lot of 90s TV because I just didn't have cable. So I would have
Mhm.
like I would watch like sitcoms, the news, and old cop dramas. So like everyone at school is like, I've never seen SpongeBob. Like I feel like I've seen it in passing, but like I can't tell you like a plot of a SpongeBob episode, like or like a meme. Like Noob will appear out of nowhere and say a line that's from SpongeBob, and he'll look at me, trying to see if I recognize it. And I'm like, bro, like I don't know what this is, but yeah, I just
Yeah,
didn't
I
have
have that happen
cable.
all the time too. People are like, "You didn't watch SpongeBob?" But for me,
I
it was
didn't
just that
watch
my mom
any
hated
of these.
SpongeBob, and so she just didn't want me watching that. But
None of these shows, man. Disney. I had like at most I had 15 channels. 15. I was in there. And oh yeah, and you had the internet early. I didn't have the internet consistently
yeah,
till I was a good 16 years old, bro.
I don't. I was really never much of a TV watcher, which sounds good on its own until you factor in that I was just always on the internet.
You're on
It's
the
like, oh, I
internet.
don't watch a lot of TV. I was
Judging
on the
by your
internet from when I
videos, you're
was
on the internet at like age 9, bro. You you were
yeah,
on there. What
I was
age did you
on
have?
there.
Well, in that one video, you had a phone and you were like 3 months old looking in that in that one video we watched where you were like walking around holding a phone, looking trying to be all posh. How old?
Oh
How old were
yeah.
you in that?
I could go back and look. I'm gonna say I was probably 12 in that,
That's crazy.
maybe 11.
I didn't.
But
Okay,
my dad, yeah.
when did
No,
you
go
get
ahead.
your first phone? How old were you when you got your first phone?
Um, I'm gonna say fifth or sixth grade.
And was it a smartphone?
Yeah.
Dude, you know what the first phone? My first phone was a flip phone, bro. It was literally just a
Yeah.
flip phone with no and you I had to like buy the minutes. Like my mom would like go to the
Mm,
store and get those like cards and then you like enter in and she would give me like 60 minutes a month. And it was like
hmm.
per text, it was like half a minute. So I had to be very like economical with my texting. Like like I'd be like I got to get all this information out in one text cuz like
Yeah.
but my first smartphone I got, but that was like a phone that I could only use for emergency. That was like I'm in danger, let me call my parents. Like that wasn't like a
Hmm.
like I'm texting the homies and stuff. The first smartphone I
Hmm.
got was a BlackBerry when I was 16. Have you seen
Yeah. I
Blackberries,
remember I
bro?
used to. Oh
I
yeah,
had the
both
BlackBerry.
my I used to play Brick Breaker on my mom's BlackBerry when I was little.
I
Um.
had that BlackBerry and I was like downloading legally obtained music on there. I was like I remember putting like Man Overboard music on there when I was like 15. I was like, "Ooh, the new Man Overboard album. I'm so excited for this." I'd put it on there. I'd be putting like the Wonder Years music on there when I was a boy. I'd be like, yes. But the fact that you had a phone in the what are you even texting about in the fifth grade? What what
I know, I'm
what?
trying to remember. I'm trying to think of like what there was a time where at some point, I think I lost a bunch of my texts, but there was a time where I would have been able to go back and find my texts. I might still be able to if I find the hard drive. Like my texts from, oh no, those wouldn't have been on a hard drive. Okay, they're probably gone. But um, yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know what
what
I would have been texting about.
what's a fifth grade talk
But
about? What was a fifth grader talk about, bro?
well, like, oh god, this is so embarrassing. But like, there was a there was a little kids just should not have social media, but there was like a trend thing when I was in, I think, sixth grade, going around on Instagram. Did I have Instagram in sixth grade?
I
I
think
must
you
have
did.
because
I
I
think we went
got
over
tagged in
this.
this. Because I had it and then I didn't and then I did again. But yeah, I think, yes. Okay, sorry. This timeline doesn't matter to anyone but me. But sixth grade, there was this trend where it was like, tag your 20 favorite people, and then those people have to like post this and tag their 20 favorite people. And I got so, and it was, I made a video about it, and it's so indicative of my troubled brain that like that post had me so like worked up of like, but how do I decide? Like, only 20? And like, are people going to be offended if they're not included? And who really gets to be like my favorite person? And I was so like, just like, I'm trying to think of a different word than like worked up over it. And another thing that I think I made a video about was like, we had this career thing, which is kind of coincidental to now, but we did this like, write like a story about your life.
What is a
um
okay? What are you writing about? What
I don't
life?
even know. Well, oh no, like in your, like your future life. It was like, make up
Oh,
a future for yourself. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. And so I was just freaking out about that. And then I was like, okay, I want to work at a media company. So I either want to work at BuzzFeed or College Humor. But do I want to work at BuzzFeed or do I want to work at College Humor? And then I couldn't decide. And then I don't even know. I just remember talking about that on video once, being like, I couldn't decide what I wanted to do. And it's like every little fucking assignment got me so worked up. But Tauruses, they don't sweat the small stuff.
you don't sweat the small stuff. That's definitely something you don't do.
You can find me anytime not sweating the small stuff.
I love that we are like the complete opposite in every single way.
I know, I'm sure as I'm telling this story, you're like, couldn't be me. Couldn't be me.
Even at that age, bro. I don't. I feel like as I've gotten older, not that I've become more self conscious, but I've like, I guess become more uh, accepting. Like my mom would always tell me this as when I was young. She said I refuse to let anything but what I accept influence me, which is like she's like you need to accept other things.
Oh, I
Like you
could see how
can't.
that could be a problem. Yeah.
She was like, you
Yeah.
can't like be in your own. She was like, it's not all about you. It's not
Hmm.
like if like it was all like anything outside. I was like impenetrable. Like like no.
Hmm.
But I guess I've become more like I've become a bit softer in that where like I still don't accept it, but I'm like okay. I used to just think everyone was soft. I'd be like, look at that nigga, soft over there. Look at that, look at that. But now I'm like, you know what? Most people are soft, and that's okay. Like, so
Yeah.
it's a little bit of growth. But man, nah, bro. I was
Most
not
people are
stressing.
soft,
I
and
was
that's
like,
okay.
I didn't even know. Like fifth grade.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
From like,
Okay, it like flicked away for a second. But I mean, yeah, that is the truth. Most people are soft,
oh,
bro. It's like. But what was I saying? I got distracted. It like went dark for
it was
like
a
a
switch
second.
that flipped. Oh, weird. But yeah, for me, it was a switch that flipped at some point, and to be entirely honest, my mom and I have long been in pursuit of what the moment was where it flipped to try and mend that. But like growing up, I was like, when I was little, I was like very happy go lucky, didn't care what people thought, was not hard on myself. And then at some point around, I'm going to say age 9,
At
it just
9,
like, it
you were
was
like, I
around
care, I care,
9
I care.
where everything became like, everything just became so big and I was just coming down on myself all the time. And then it just got like worse and worse and worse and worse until I was about 14. And then I kind of got it a little bit in check. And then it flared up again mid college. And so I'm kind of getting it in check again. So I guess that's just going to be my life, is calming these flare ups. But not necessarily. This could, for all we know, this is the last flare up. And it'll never happen again because I'm going to be so healed this time that
you
I
like,
that I won't have another
you like
flare up of
frozen.
coming down on myself. We'll see. Time will tell. I don't know. Are you
You
because
were
you're
talking,
frozen?
but you
Am
were
I
like
also
froze in
frozen?
this position. You were like, like you like froze like that. Wow, but the audio was still going. But you were just like, but man, I don't know.
I
I
think the
never.
Wi-Fi in my apartment is really bad. Uh,
I've got some good Wi-Fi.
I'm just about to
I
go on
know
a tangent, but go
I pay
ahead.
for
Yeah.
it. But like, I don't know. I never. To me, it wasn't. I just never. I don't know how to word this without sounding insufferable. Like, I don't know.
Not just sounding like a dick.
It was
I've
like,
just never been insecure and I've never had an awkward phase and I've just
no, there
been
was a.
cool my whole
For
life.
me, it was like, I don't care what people. I don't care what anyone but me is saying because they aren't on my level. That's that. I was like, why would I care? Why would I consider the opinion of someone beneath me? That was like, that was like my
Fair
that
enough.
was my thought for the majority of my life. Like, I'd be like, why? Like, it genuinely baffled me. Where like I would, cause I would mostly hang out. Like, I would go to church and I'd hang out with a lot of white people. And then my like I'd be at school, I'd be hanging out with the bros, which is mostly either black or Hispanic people. And it was
Hmm.
like a switch. Like, I'd go hang out with some. I feel like I'm using white people as like the sensitive people. There's some sensitive black people, but these were just white people. Like, these were like,
Hmm.
these were white folk. But like, I would hang
Yeah.
with them and I would be genuinely perplexed. I'm like, why does the opinion of someone beneath you bother you so much? Like, it would
Yeah.
genuinely perplex me. I'd be like logically this doesn't make sense. I'd be like, first of all, I'm like, I'd be thinking like, do you respect this person? And they clearly don't respect this person. But I'm like, so why do you care about what someone you don't respect is thinking? Like, that was my thought. I'm like,
Hmm.
because I've always lived on respect. Like, if I don't respect you, then like I don't
Hmm.
consider you. Like, that's how it is. But I'm trying to word this in a way
Yeah.
that is makes me doesn't sound like. I mean, I named myself. I created this channel when I was 16 years old, and I named myself
Hmm.
Awesome. So that
Yeah, that's just anything.
I named myself Awesome. But like, I don't know. I just it never. It also was. I was like, at that age, I was kind of. I guess this is kind of like a dark awesome moment. I was kind of like in that, like, it was like a survival mode where like nothing really
Uh-huh.
mattered. Like like stuff like that seemed like irrelevant to me. It was like people are like, "Oh no, like the girl doesn't like me. Oh, what will the fellows think about this at school?" And I'd be like, "My niggas are dying, bro." Like I'm like I don't care about this. Like like this is not like I'm like the stakes. Like, these are not the stakes. Like, this isn't it. But like, so it was just like that stuff did not was not even like a calculation in my head. Like, Like going down the street and someone looking at me, my thought was never like, "Oh no, what does this person think about how I'm dressed right now?" I'm just like that was not in my head at all.
There's like a screenshot of I don't know who it is, but it's some celebrity, and she would go on her like Instagram story and answer questions. And I think someone said like, what advice do you have, or like what do you have to say to like insecure teenage girls? And she said, I think some of you are thinking about yourselves too much.
Oh yes.
And I have to just kind of keep saying that to myself. I'm like, don't be self-centered. Like that's where
Yo, yeah. I feel like I've talked about this before, where I feel like the most insecure people are so insecure where they think no one is thinking about them, but at the same time they think everyone is thinking about them. Like,
yeah,
like how can you think no one cares, but yet everyone is thinking about you? I'm
everyone's
like,
judging you.
how, how does this coexist?
Mm-hmm. I think I don't know. I was just I have to remember that we're like doing a podcast, and this isn't like me like meeting with a new therapist where I'm just like, oh, let me tell you this other thing about
This is therapy awesome.
yeah. I'm like, this is such a nice environment where it's like I'm saying all this stuff that I don't normally, but I think in a podcast friendly way, um I was saying that like when I got to about 14, 15, the the coming down on myself sort of subsided, but then I replaced that like self-centeredness, so to speak, with like I was like, I'm gonna express myself through how I can help others. But then that turned into just like self-sacrificing, and then people being like, you're doing too much self-sacrificing. And I was like, what? Like, what am I supposed to do? Um and so that's another balance that I'm trying to strike still today, where I'm like, okay, how do I work in my own interest, but also work in the
Yeah,
interest of others, but also not overdo either, or
I just feel like
I
I
don't
do
know.
what is natural. Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
think about like because there was like a culture shock to me. I guess when I feel like I talk about my past life like I was out here dodging bullets every. It was I was a teen. Like I was I was
I
we weren't
know the way
playing
you.
video games. Like,
There's
I
this
the typical life of
brief
me
side note.
was playing video games.
Just there's this. I can't remember what movie. I think it's called Wicked World. They watched it on Best of the Worst, and in order to show that it was a bad neighborhood, every time the characters were outside, they would just have like gunshots and screaming and like animal sound effects. And that's
I mean,
just in my head like what I imagine when you talk about your childhood. It's just like nonstop gunshots and screaming.
when we were like
Like I
16 recording at Noob's house, there were several times we had to stop recording because there was just gunshots outside. But
oh god.
so in a way, but I mean like
In a
I
way.
feel like that's a general like when people talk, this is a bigger issue. Like when people talk about the hood, they make it seem like it's
Mhm.
just like there's a lot of joy. Like it's not like where we were just out here in a war zone all the time. Like but I feel
Mhm.
like when I like that transition from like being like a kid to going to college and kind of like branching out of that, like going from like to like civilian life, like hanging up the pistols and
Mhm.
going going to civilian life. It was like a
Mhm.
culture shock because like the way people did friendships like threw me off completely. Like the idea of an acquaintance or like just having someone around that you're not really friends with but they're just there or
Mhm.
like like that was like completely new to me. Like for me it was either like you my dog, I'd bleed for you, or like I don't talk to you. So like the idea of an acquaintance was like, so I had to like look at friendships in a different way where I'm like, not that like where like it's not bad to just have someone that you're casually friendly to and like
Mhm.
so that kind of threw me off like new friendships. I'm like, this is how the white people interact with each other. They're friends, but they're not friends. Like, what is? I'm like,
It's so stressful.
I'm like, these people like
Tr-
they talk where like they have so many formalities, but they don't really care about each other. Like they'll ask about your
yeah,
day,
being
but
like, oh,
they
that
don't
person's
care.
my school friend.
Yeah, I'm like
That
school
too,
friend.
yeah. Like this is my school friend, and like, yeah, I had school friends like where I would talk to them nonstop when we were in class, but then right when we got out of class, it was like we didn't know each other, and I was always like, I don't like that. I don't,
I
like
hated
I don't know,
it. Would be like, and people don't
but
say what they mean. People are like duplicitous. All like no one is just saying what they mean. Like it broke my brain, bro. Going, I
mhm.
remember being like 19, sitting like walking through the halls. I'm like, this is not making sense in my mind. I'm like, and these people have it so easy. I'm like, they drive their parent, like they live such comfortable lives, man. But it's like, I'm like, why, bro? Like, I'm like, your all your dogs are here. Like, why do you treat each other like this, man? Like, I'm like, everyone is here.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't know.
A school friend.
School friends,
Oh yeah, I was looking at a
the
thing I
drum of
sent
school
Noob.
friends.
A thing I sent Noob was a picture. Was someone like took some bread and put fentanyl on it because they had a fly problem. So they took like a piece of bread and covered it in fentanyl, and there was just all these flies around it, just high on fentanyl, just going crazy. that's the type of that's the type of stuff I send Noob.
My or well, yeah, a member of my family recently had surgery and they were like freaking out because they were given fentanyl and I was like, "No, it's fine.
It's
Like it's
medical
fine.
fentanyl.
You can have a little bit as a treat. It's okay. You'll be okay."
It's all right.
They literally like thought they were going to die and I was like, "Okay, you're not going to this not it's like the police that are like within a few feet of it and then they
Just
get high
die.
off it and they just die." Yeah. Um what's the other thing we were just talking about that I
We were
had
talking
something to
about
say about?
friends abandonment.
Something about drugs.
How?
Oh, um, well, this is just a dumb story, but I a couple of different things we were talking about made me think of this. I drove back to school last night because I went home for the weekend to see this concert, and then I was gonna leave in the afternoon, and then I life got in the way, so then I left later than I intended to. So it was like 10 or 11 p.m. and I was driving and my mom said she was going to fill up the tank because she took the car out and she was like, I'll fill up the tank. And then she was like, actually, I think you'll be fine. You can get there on half a tank. And I was like, I don't think I can. And she was like, it only took you half a tank to get back. And I was like, okay, but then we're really pushing it. But then at that point, I was already running late. So I was just like, okay, fine, whatever. I'll just go. Did not make it. Had to get off the highway and find a gas station. And so I'm like, and I, to my, luckily for me, I underestimated how much, um, I don't know how, if every like gas gauge has like bars, but my card has bars. And I underestimated how far I could go on one bar. So I was like, shit, I need to get off the road right now. And I get off and I'm in this like middle of nowhere town. There is no one there. Like there's like barely any street lights. And I'm looking for gas stations. And every gas station that I navigate to, there's just nothing there. And so I finally find this gas station. And then I try and use the pump and it's like out of order. And then I'm going around and like all the pumps aren't working. So then I'm in the car, um, and I'm just trying to like find another gas station within like 10 miles and there's nothing coming up. And a car pulls into the the lot. And I'm like, who is here? And then another car pulls in next to them. And then they both get out and they're holding bags or yeah, one of them was holding a bag, and then one of them had like their hands in their pockets, and they start walking toward my car, and I was like, "What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?" And then it ended up being a drug deal. I'm like 95% sure it was a drug deal. But I don't know why they moved away from the car to do it. It scared the shit out of me when they started walking toward my car. I was like, "What are you doing?" And then they just like handed some things back and forth and then went back to their cars and sped off. But I was like, ah! um I was actually on the phone with my mom when it happened because she was like, she has my location. She was like, "Why'd you pull off the road?" And I was like, "Because I didn't have enough gas, mom." Um, and then I'm like on the phone with her and we're trying to find a gas station. And then I'm like, there are cars pulling into the lot. I don't know what's going on. And I'm like, "Mom, they're walking toward me." And then I was like, "Mom, never mind. It was a drug deal." But um, I don't remember how we got to any of that. Something about drugs and people and
It was about
towns.
fentanyl, so they were dealing a
Oh,
full
yeah.
bag of fentanyl.
A giant bag of, yeah,
Man, that's Cam out here living dangerously, bro. This is why I'd be like,
living
be safe.
dangerously.
I'd be like, be safe, dog.
I know. But I was like, there's like nothing else to do. All you can do in this town, because it's just like a straight road, and there was like barely even anything on the sides of the road. And I was like, all you can do in this town is like, there's not even a dispo you could go. Well, I don't know what kind of drugs it was. I'm acting like it was weed. It could have been anything.
Is it a bag?
But yeah. Um from like all this gas station is good for is drug deals and get me any gas. So I don't know. That's my story. It's really not all that exciting. It just occurred to me that it happened last night. And I had like a
Oh yeah,
half second where I was like, what if I just never text? Like, I was talking to one of my friends and I was like, what if I just never text him back and he thinks I like ghosted him? And actually, I just got killed in the gas station.
you just dropped.
But there's probably some like white woman fear in there. It's like, oh, being outside at night, everyone is so scary. And it's like, people aren't really coming for you. But
It's
anyway,
inbred.
sorry. Yeah.
Oh yeah, speaking of drugs, that was also another culture shock. I grew up around I was friends with the drug dealers. So in my
Hmm.
mind, like like I would be at the spot and there might be like cocaine on the table, but it wasn't like
Hmm.
it was like this is product. This is for the losers. Like so like that was in mind. I remember being 19 and I was hanging out with some homies and this girl that I was friends with, she just like I don't know what drug she was doing. I just remember she had like a bag in front of her, and periodically she would just like lean over into the bag and just inhale, and then lean back up, and then just continue with what was going down. And everyone would just like was just passing this bag around, doing that, and they're like, "You want some?" I was like, "No," but in my mind, I was like, "Yo, these are the junkies." Like,
These are the
like
suckers.
I was like,
Yeah.
these are the people. I was like, my dog probably sold this to them. Like, I was like, these are them. Like, I was like, I've switched up. Like,
Yeah. Incidentally, they warn you a lot about like, or at least they warned me and people my ilk that like you're going to go off to high school and college and people are going to be trying to pressure you into doing drugs and alcohol. And that's maybe true if you're like rushing a frat,
yeah,
like if you're being hazed. But outside of that, like if someone offers you drugs and you say no, at least in my experience, they're just like, okay, cool, more for us.
yeah,
Except one time when my friend was like, we were at a party and she was like, come upstairs, I need to get something. And so we go upstairs and we go to some guy's room and there's a bunch of lines of coke on the table. And they both are like snorting the coke and this guy won't stop asking me to try it. And I'm
yo,
like, I'm good. Cause look, I have a caffeine dependency. I can't start doing coke. I can't do that. But he's like, He's like, "Come on, try it. It's so good. It's so," and I'm like, "Why are you so intent on me trying?" And then we leave and she's like, "Yeah, he's my dealer." And I'm like, "Oh, okay.
He was trying to get some clients.
He's trying to get another
He
customer."
was trying to
I'm
get
like,
white girl
"No."
on that white girl. He was trying to get another white girl on that white girl, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Incidentally, later that, like, years later, that friend got very drunk and was like fiending for coke.
Oh yeah,
And
I feel like you told this.
did I
Was this
tell you
on
this
this
already? Did
podcast?
I tell this on the
This
podcast?
this may have been on this podcast. Yeah.
Well, not to keep putting this girl on blast, but she
Cam just
freaked
hates
out at
that girl.
us because we wouldn't. She's fine. It was a weird night when she like unloaded on all of us because we wouldn't take her to this place to go get coke, and then she apparently allegedly blacked out because then she texted me 2 days later and was like, "Did I say something to you? Why are we following each other?" But now we're
Nah,
fine. So I don't know.
I've been around long enough. Like I like will see some like the moment I see someone like I could be cool with someone, then the moment they like I'm like I got this white powder with me. I'm like, well, I'm not talking to you again. Like I'm like I know the road that this will lead me down.
Mm-hmm.
Like having like a coke user in your life is like that's a liability. Like
Yeah.
that's like they're going to get you into something. Like I'm not saying they're like they'll make you do cocaine, but like them just being in your car and having cocaine. That's now there's cocaine in your car. Like
Mm-hmm.
them them being at your apartment or house and there's I gotta stop saying that for YouTube reasons. Them
I know
being
we
in
got to
your
come up with another.
them being
Mm-hmm.
at your property and having that with them.
That stuff. Yeah.
That's now there's drugs on your premises. Them being like
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna like have like lousy people in their life that are like they owe people money or I'm just like no I just I'd be at home reading my books and playing my video
Mm-hmm.
games like that's that's what I that's what I do. I'm not I
I
can't
remember
do this anymore.
there was a big scandal with a political YouTuber a couple years ago, or a political streamer, I think. I don't know, I don't really watch him. But it made its way around like the political YouTube that he had had a big falling out with his girlfriend who had gotten into a number of illicit substances and was not paying rent. Unbeknownst to him, she was hiding their eviction notices, and she had like access to his bank account and she was taking money out of his bank account, or maybe out of his PayPal. I think it was out of his PayPal. And she was just taking all this money from him covertly and spending it on that stuff,
That
as you've
stuff.
said in the past. That stuff. Um and then it turned into a very brief, like, is it okay to cut someone who's struggling out of your life? And it's like when they're yanking you down with them and like getting you evicted from your house, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't
Anyway.
it's a whole process, bro. I'm not going to be and I mean I've told you I mean this is off. You know why I'm like cocaine, crack, drug users get this keep this away. Like I don't like this, man.
Yeah.
But like it's a whole liability. I can't hang out with like the slightest like if I'm out and like say something how someone reacts to danger. Like if it like I remember I was with someone and like they were like we were just having a good night out, like we were at like a bar or something, just having a good time. And they're like,
Hmm.
oh yeah, after this we're gonna be here, and then at this time we're going here,
Oh yeah, you're
and
saying
then
that.
at the end of the night we're all meeting up here. And I was like, nigga, like,
Hmm.
I literally looked at him and was like, did you really just give them the GPS coordinates of, and the times where we'll be alone and unprotected? Like, like,
Hmm.
like I was like, okay, this is how this guy thinks. And then I was like, and I never hung out with that guy again, just because that's to like or like how someone reacts to danger. I'm like, if you don't if like people who I guess I've become more lenient on this because, like I said, most people are soft, and that's okay. But like if we're out somewhere and like a dangerous moment happens and like they would just freeze up and not react, I'd be like, I can't have this person in my life. Like this is, I'm like, you don't move.
Hmm.
I'm like, you just
Yeah,
sat
if you
there.
get on it.
Like you don't move, man. But
Trying
like,
to think
man,
like.
that's a cutoff worthy. I just can't. I can't have liabilities around, man. Like that's I
Hmm.
can't be doing this.
Yeah, I don't know. I what's it called? Filtering. Filtering. Not in therapy right now. You're on video.
You're on
Let's
video.
think about what you say before you say it.
Cause you know
And
I'm
right
not
now
gonna
I'm
edit
coming up with
this.
nothing.
Cause you know
I
I'm.
know. I'm like, yeah. When you're editing it, I know I can't cut any of this out. So I'm like, okay.
You know I'm leaving all
All
of this
this,
in.
even like, this is what I get. I wonder if I wonder if the people. I feel like there's a pretty clear difference from when you edit the episode versus when I edit the episode. Namely, in that when you do it, it's like a screenshot of like the
Yes.
of a different episode, and then us like just kind of on there.
Yes.
Um,
Well,
I'm
the
like
recent one.
he really did this in 20 minutes, but
Hey, it was close enough.
yeah, he's like, fine, send it, cut it,
I
it's
knew that would.
perfect.
I knew. I was like, when she sees how I did this, she's gonna be like, "Yeah, that took 20 minutes."
Yeah,
What you
and
think?
my
I'm in there
production value
making
has
a
only.
graphic.
I know, I'm like, I'm doing all my little like text and like adding images, and then it takes me too long, and then I can't. I gotta get back on editing that TV glow thing. I'm such a clown. You were like, that's gonna take you several months, and I was like, no, it's not. It's gonna take me a week and a half. But then, in my defense, Danny B's footage has been a massive pain to navigate. No offense to Danny B. I don't know why her footage is being weird. There's literally
It's
no
literally
reason
the
for it.
same. It's literally
Yeah,
the
it's the
same.
same as it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I gotta get on editing that. And I have this whole backlog of videos that I want to make that are all just blending into each other. And I'm like, whatever, just do it. Just do it. Just Shia LaBeouf. Just do it.
Just do it. Well, when you said just Shia LaBeouf, my mind went to like sexual assault charges. That did.
Yeah.
That's where my mind went. Just do it.
I
Just
wonder
Shia
I
LaBeouf.
wonder if Shia LaBeouf managed to he was like, look, this thing in front of the green screen, I'm gonna look like a clown, but it's gonna turn the attention away from all this other stuff that I have going on, and then people will just know me as the just do it guy,
Well, did he did that
and
for
not for
someone's college? He did that for someone's college.
he did it
You know,
for
like the
yeah.
yeah, it was like someone's
At
college
one time
thing.
I knew the story. Now I don't. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, this
Let
is
me look this up.
cutting back to like friendship abandonment. When I was in college, I became really close friends with this girl, and
Hmm.
she was in like your era of like all her friends dropping her. So that was like
Hmm.
she was in that white girl in her early 20s, and all her friends are leaving her state
Hmm.
of her life. I got to say, she had the worst friends. She had the worst friends. I To the point where I was like, why? And this was me fresh from the streets, you know, fresh from fresh from the hood where the gunshots were just stock
Right.
background noise. Just I was at home,
Hmm.
just making eggs, and there was just RPG
Just
missiles just just shooting off
yeah.
in the background. But so I gotta say, this girl, she kind of like it was like an interaction where she kind of like taught me how to be a more sensitive type of person. Like I was like, this girl is a very frail white girl, and like I'm like, okay, this is like
I need to put on kid gloves.
I was like, I can't. I got. She was kind of like instrumental in my in me being like where I was like, okay, I was like, she's soft, but like, like okay, this.
But it's okay.
I
This is
was
a
like,
soft person I'm okay with.
yeah, I was. She was. Yeah, she was the first soft person. Where I was like, I'm not immediately like, yo,
Hmm.
what? Tighten up, dog. Like, I was like, all right.
Hmm.
She's soft, but like, okay. Like,
But okay.
I have like a friendship with this person, and this is like, okay, I understand that you're soft. But she had the
Hmm.
worst friends, bro. Like, the worst friends imaginable. Where like they were, I was like, where did you collect these? Where did you collect what like like where did you find these people, bro? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, how did you find this many people this uniquely terrible? Like, I was like,
Oh
where did you
man.
go? Like, I'd be like, I know like killers that like treat me better than this. Like, I'm
Hmm.
like, I know people that got assault charges or like breaking and entry charges that got treat me better. Not sexual assault charges, like
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
you know, like regular assault charges that treat me better
Hmm.
than this. Like, bro, like, but like, all I became friends with her in like that transitional period where like all her friends were driving her, and I was kind of like becoming like her close like her real close friend that like didn't drop her at that time. And I was like, dog, like how do you white people get into these scenarios, man? Like, I'm like, y'all live in the suburbs, bro. Like, you got 3 cars in the
Looking
garage.
for a
Like,
struggle. And I'm speaking from experience. I'm not just
I'd be like, how did this happen, man? Like, like it seems like that is what it felt like to me. I'm like, because like I don't want to discount the suburban struggle because that is, I mean, the suicide rates,
I was
the
gonna
like
say the suburbs are
mental,
their own kind of problem.
yeah, the
But
mental illness. Like this is like there definitely is like a problem. But I'm like, man, y'all have it like really easy overall. I'm like, I'm like, y'all
yeah, in
live.
terms of like Maslow's hierarchy,
Yeah,
like that we're having our basic needs met is a step above some people.
but
A
I
lot of
always
people, I
wonder like
guess.
I'm like if I grew up I gotta say I grew up pretty because like I was always the most well off friend of my friends. Like I lived in the suburbs,
Hmm.
but all my homies were like dying. We're like in the
Oh
we're in
yeah.
the action. So like I would go home and it would be safe, but like then I'd go to school and it was just violence every day. So I kind of had that like that safe haven. Like I have a safe home to sleep in. But like I don't know. I'd be like, y'all find these problems. I'm like, this is what you care about? What Johnny said to you yesterday? This is what's living in your
Hmm.
head? Like I'd be like, bro.
Bro.
Y'all gotta tighten up. But yeah, meeting that white girl, that was like a that kind of like softened my heart where I was like, you know what, bro, I understand. Cause we had
Hmm.
some long conversations where I was like, okay, this makes sense from like, cause like you break it down, like even my life, there's someone starving in Africa who has it significantly
Hmm.
worse than me. So it's all like
Yeah, it's all
perspective.
relative and
Yeah,
it's all the scope of your own existence.
yeah,
You exist in the context of all in which you lived and what came before you. I think that's
yeah.
Confucius that said that.
Like people would always tell me,
Um,
like they'd be like, "Yo, you are the strongest person I've ever met." And I'd be like, "I'm really not. I'm just this is just not hard for me." Like I'm like there are several things that I encounter where I'm like I'm not doing this. Like like
mhm.
this is just not like what's hard like you seeing me do something that's easy for you. I'm like this is not difficult for me. Like this is just not like for me
Mhm.
this is it's not like I'm overcoming something. Like I always view strength as like what that person is overcoming themselves, so I'm like I'm not
Yeah.
overcoming something by doing this. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
but the
I was just thinking like I don't know. I I think I've just thought the divide was interesting because like not to the same extent in terms of like the clear divide, but like I lived in the suburbs and there I lived in an affluent area where my family was not very affluent.
Oh, you were them.
And so I knew a lot of, and I guess, I mean, yeah, I know a lot of very like rich people and like celebrities, like kids and grandkids, and people whose parents have like Wikipedia articles.
Oh
But
man.
then like
Oh man.
I I'm just little old me. And like I had a friend tell me in I think middle school, maybe no, I think it was high school. We were living in a house and we were downsizing. Um and so I told my friend that like we were probably moving soon and she goes, "Oh yeah, you could stand to live in a bigger house." And I was like,
Yo.
"Okay. Thanks. Cool." Like there were just it's like the total opposite of what you were having and the experience is just like not comparable, but it's funny to think about, especially like in hindsight, where I was talking to like my mom about this where I'm very used to seeing a lot of wealth even though I have not personally experienced it. So like I'll meet people like I recently found out that one of my friends comes from a lot of money. Um and I saw their I just I saw markers of them coming from a lot of money, but to me it looked modest because I was like, "Oh, I've seen these people who do all this like conspicuous consumption and like feel the need to over consume to prove their wealth and all this stuff." I don't know where I was going with any of this. It's such a not a problem. Like I was sort of insecure about it when I was younger because I felt like I don't know. But now I'm just like it's whatever. It doesn't matter and it's not a meaningful problem, so
I
I
never
don't know why I'm
cared.
bringing it up.
People like bragging on their nothing was lamer to me. Cause like
Hmm.
there would be some like people that there was like a divide. There was to be like the wealthier people that came from like cause there's like a wealthy part of my area. And
Hmm.
like I was like nothing is lamer than flexing your parents' money. I'm like you didn't make that money.
Yeah.
Like I guess it's because I would be hanging around drug dealers who are like 14 just carrying stacks of cash that they like that they got
Hmm.
themselves. And I'm like this guy over here is like I'm like your parents leased that car? All right. Like I was
Hmm.
like all right. Like your parents
Well, it's
got that?
like
You didn't get that yourself?
there was a girl who would brag about how like her mom like bought a she like paid for like a wing to be added to a school's library or something, like a college's library, so that she could get into the school. I'm like, okay, that's not that cool. Like
I'd be
that
like,
doesn't really
"Dog,
make you look good.
lame. Lame."
Like, oh wow, you're going to a prestigious university because you paid a lot to get in. Wow, that's so cool.
Every time Noob is like talking about someone wealthy, he'll always be like, "Oh, my father owns a lake." That's his like his go-to like wealth line. Like I don't know if this video I know I won't edit to this cuz I'm not going to watch this when I post it. I'm just going to cut to the beginning and the end and then upload it in the raw form. But there was
It's
like
so
a video
scary.
where there was there was I'm not afraid of this at all. I stand by everything I say. But I'm a real nigga. But there was like a years ago we were playing this tennis. We were playing it's probably on YouTube right now. A video of us playing a tennis game, a video game. And it was like all these like wealthy guys and he was just constantly we were like assigning characters to based on like how pretentious their names sound. Oh, this guy is like
Mhm.
Jean Vavor. My father owns a lake. He was he was just saying that constantly. I'm like, is that to you the ultimate sign of wealth? That like someone's father owning a lake? Like
Owns a lake.
is that like Is that your go-to example? Is like my
Yeah.
father owns a lake. I'm like, how many lakes are there to own? Like, how many
Yeah.
lakes are there? But man,
I
but
don't know.
wealth, man.
What else, man?
And we,
Yeah. I don't
white woman, white people, they not struggling really. They,
know.
they not out here struggling really.
I have look. I have. I get so worked up. I start talking about like this stuff I've told you about off camera. I'm like, stop.
Cam's been through a lot. I be feeling, I be feeling, I be like wondering about. I'll be like at work or something, and I'll remember something Cam told me. I'm like, man, I hope Cam is all good. Like, I'll be like randomly like someone at work will tell me something. I'll be like, yo, that sounds similar to something Cam went through. I hope she's all good. Like,
I'm fine. I'm white.
you got
Everything's
the
fine.
white. You're carrying. You
I'm a
got white
white
privilege on your
woman.
back.
Yeah.
You're white. You're a Kanye's enemy. You're white.
Yeah. I just got a bunch of like recommendations of people talking about like from like I don't even know more. It's got to be more than a year ago at this point because I was in a different apartment when it happened. Um, when like Kanye was first like going around like all like on his cycle of all the different shows like praising that guy. I
Praising
don't know
that
why
guy.
I'm acting like we haven't been talking about illicit substances this whole time,
Praising that
but
guy.
that dude.
That
Um,
guy over there.
but like those are coming up in my recommended, and I'm like, why? Like, why now? They just want me to remember that I'm Kanye's enemy. I'm his
That
worst
video
nightmare.
of him like with like dressed like an anime character where he has on like that full like mask on.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, you know what? That guy was a pretty cool dude. And actually was like, whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, and like cuts to
Whoa,
commercial
whoa.
break.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's just liability central over there.
Kanye is the biggest liability. Man, Kanye is a.
Yeah.
I used to love Kanye. I loved Kanye so much as a boy, like up to 2012. Up to 2012, I was about everything Kanye did.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
We always start
I
off
don't have
like
any
I
way
don't
to
know
wrap
what
that
we're
up.
gonna talk about, and then like an hour goes by, and we
Yeah.
seamlessly.
Mhm. We made it, everyone.
And it's
We
not
did
hard
it.
every time. I was at work thinking like I
Yeah.
don't know what we're gonna talk about. I was here like what are we going to talk about? And then the moment we press
Yes,
record,
5 seconds before we were recording, we were like, what are we going to talk about? Yeah, when we first started doing these, I was like, should we have like an outline with like topics to get to so that we aren't like just sitting there not knowing what to talk about?
now we
And
chatty, bro. I
fine.
feel like it's like I don't know, having being friends is like it's easy. Like I don't know. As long as you're like having I feel like if we were like business associates cuz I feel like there's got
Hmm.
to be some podcasts where they don't where they're doing this for like where they're not really friends like
Yeah.
that. Like where it's a business.
I was just seeing something like that where it was like they don't talk to each other off the set of the whatever. I
Yeah.
don't remember who it was, but it was just like yeah, they don't talk to each other outside of filming together, and I was like, that's wild. That's crazy.
Yo, so when I was growing up,
But
not growing up, but I was like a teen.
mhm.
There was this gaming channel called The Switcher, and they'd make like two best friends play. That was like their thing. It'd be like two best friends play this, and I remember
Mhm.
the biggest reveal was that they aren't best friends. Like it was all a lie. My whole
What?
my whole teenage years were a lie, bro. I remember it was a big because it was like the two best friends, and then there was like this one there was like this big black guy with dreads, and then this like
Mhm.
androgynous guy named Liam, and but it was like the main two best friends. It was like Pat and Matt. They were the main two best
Uh-huh.
friends. They were like the super best friends. If it was them together, they would title the video "Super Best Friends." Like, and then I remember there was like, I guess I kind of suspected because there was like a video where like one of them was, they were both getting married, and there was like footage, and neither of them were at each other's wedding. I was like, maybe they had scheduling conflicts, you know? Like maybe something went down. But the thing is, the other people, like from the best friends, were there, but just not the two best friends. Like the other people on the channel were at the weddings,
Wow.
just not the two best friends. And it all started from them.
Huh.
And I remember the channel ended. They were like, "It's over. They aren't best friends. They don't talk to each other outside of making videos. It's all a lie." I was like, "No," because that was literally why we made
No.
videos. Him, the super best friends, and critical, like
Mm-hmm.
Penguin Zero was the reason
Penguins,
why.
so yeah.
And I remember when we were 15 making, like 15, 16 making gaming videos, people would leave comments, "You guys are trying too hard to be like the super best friends." I'm like, "No, like I mean, yeah, we love them, but like this is
Mm-hmm. This is just us.
this is just us. We are the actual
Yeah.
best friends. Like time time has shown that we are the actual
Yeah.
best friends."
It's funny. Ah,
But that was a friendship fallout. I don't know if that was ever even a friendship. Did they just decide? Like did they
yeah.
just
I don't
decide
know.
we're going to be the two best
I know.
friends?
They're like, this is marketable. This will work for
Cuz
us.
cuz they started out on Machinima, which is down. I remember when
That's
Machinima
what I
erased
noticed. Yeah.
everything. That was
Mm-hmm.
like the end of my childhood, bro. Literally, so many memes, so many things that we talk about, like that we can just never watch again. Like they only exist in our minds. There's like so many
Mm-hmm.
like one-liners or like things we say that are come from Machinima that we can never find again. Like if I can like prove that prove the existence of this, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
this only exists in my memory. Like
That's so sad. Sad. Sad turn of events.
But yeah, Cam,
Ah,
Jewish,
yeah.
Jewish Cam. Ah,
Ha ha
ah.
ha.
Uh,
Free
what did
calls
you eat
time.
today? What did it's about? What time is it? It's about 7:20 your time. What did you eat today, Cam? Did you
I
get
had.
your protein? Did you get your vegetables, bro? Did you drink water?
I did drink water. I have been like running around all day. Came back, had a frozen like personal pizza.
College man.
Um, and that's all I've had today.
Just a frozen pizza.
And
That's it.
this.
Yo,
Yeah.
I make my own
I'll
pizza.
probably. I
I
should.
I get the yeast and I make dough.
Wow.
I'm so much
I
better.
till the grain.
I mean, I have my own dough. I have my own grain farms.
I tend the fields. Yeah.
I slaughter pigs to make the pepperoni.
Oh no. I raise them and I feed them and I slaughter them. Um,
But
yeah, I
yeah,
don't know.
this was a hour 50 hour 13 minutes, and that was like that
Yeah.
went by very quickly.
Yeah.
I love how literally every time we're like, I don't know, what are we gonna talk about for the next, and then it's like, all right, like
Oh, we did it.
it's
Yeah.
over. And we're at like what 45 subscribers, which for this no effort thing, I'm like, well, high effort on your part, but
Yeah.
but no effort for me.
Hmm.
45 for this long form content. That's, hey, this is a thing.
Yeah.
I
All
remember
right.
being a boy,
Well,
being like 16, just starting Two Scoops, and I remember when we got to like 20 subscribers, we were like, yeah, little high pitched voice me. We're like, yeah, 20 subscribers.
I'm like 80% 100% sure I made a video like 69 subscribers.
Yo, 69 subscribers. You were that. How old were you when you got to 69 subscribers?
I was in middle school. I don't remember how old, but I was somewhere in middle school.
Yo, cringe. I got
I
mad.
can picture it. Um, yeah, I don't know.
Just that video. Well, I don't that video I saw randomly when I was trying to find the cringe you talking about Pierce the Veil. Just that lesbian sex. Like that was
Oh yeah,
I just went to that. I was like,
that's
"Whoa.
so.
What's
That
going
was
on
so
here?"
wild. Oh wait, there's. Wait, I can't. We'll finish filming and then I'll tell
Anyway,
you.
yeah, Killa Cam,
Anyway,
Cameron, Cam is talented. Cam
yeah.
is gifted. Even Cam been through a lot, even though she has it because white privilege cancels
Because
it
I'm.
all out. But
Yeah,
Cam ain't been in these streets. Cam ain't been shot.
I've been in the
Cam
streets.
ain't been stabbed. You know I got shot every single day. Did you know that? I got shot every single day.
You take off your shirt, you're just riddled with bullets holes.
Every day I was shot.
Bullet wounds. Oh man. There's some SpongeBob meme that I don't know because I didn't watch SpongeBob, but it's like every day they like shattered my body and like rebuilt me or something about being made of glass. And that's you.
That's me.
I don't remember what it was.
Gang.
I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah, Cam is white. Uh, yeah.
Yeah.
Judaism, eat food Cam, talented Cam, gifted Cam, Jewish Cam.
Alright, tell me, you that